This is Dr. Schilling from Sequoia Health bringing you this week's Wednesday Wellness Minutes, and this week we're going to discuss the connection between arthritis and mental health because May is Arthritis and Mental Health Awareness Month. You may wonder, how are they connected? Well, if you think about the mind and the body, and anyone who's been in the clinic before, understanding QNRT, the brain controls everything in the body. So when you think about the mind-body connection, it's not just from a spiritual standpoint or anything like that, it's really determining how the brain is controlling the body and how it feeds back to the body. If you look up under Google Images or something like that, look up cortical homunculus, or just homunculus means little man. It shows the differentiation between the amount of neurons that your brain stores or contributes to each part of your body. So the hands are gigantic, the lips and the face and the head are gigantic, and then they have skinny little body and gigantic feet. So if you look up that image, the cortical homunculus, you'll get a better understanding of how your body senses your brain senses your body rather. Now, what are some of the joints, speaking of arthritis, that are affected by, and why are some affecting certain people and others? So, for example, if you took the fingers are typically associated with an inability to let go of something, like someone or some situation or some hurt or trauma you had in the past, or an inability to grasp a concept or an idea. The low back is going to be thinking a lack of support, a lack of respect, or even a sense of not being heard can be relevant for the low back. So if you know anybody who has degenerative disc disease, degenerative joint disease in the back, the neck is also important because it's sometimes an inability to understand, criticism, and then there's even people that are stubborn or have had people that are stubborn in their life, and these can all create conflicts in the brain. And then, of course, once you look at the cortical homunculus, you'll understand how the brain and the body are connected, and you'll see how conflicts in the brain are manifesting in the body. So another common one are knees. Knees are about uncertainty and inability to move forward. Therefore, anybody you know who had a knee replacement or has had knee pain, and it comes and goes, well, sometimes more uncertainty in life, and other times not so much, and other times you can move forward, and other times you can't. So just an example of how the body and the brain are connected. How is the arthritis created is the question, right? So most oftentimes it's microorganisms, because we have 750 to 100 trillion different microorganisms in and on our body, and therefore when they become imbalanced due to the conflicts in our brain, well, there you go. They manifest in the body. So for example, Borrelia bacteria, oftentimes attributed to Lyme disease, but there are 500 different varieties of Borrelia. Borrelia is like a corkscrew-shaped bacteria. It can enter joints and ligaments and tendons and chew them up, and then your immune system flags them for injury and goes in and breaks them down, and then the bugs eat the food off of that. So that's kind of how the brain and the body work. The bug tricks the immune system into attacking itself. It reaps the benefits, and so on and so forth. So Borrelia is usually unworthy or unlovable, something like that. Unable to measure up to someone else's standards. It's a common one. Bartonella is another common one. That's going to be feeling unprotected and things like that. You have mycoplasma, feeling defective, needing to please others. That's a common one that we see here. Strep. People think, oh, strep throat. Well, strep can enter the joints as well. So any of these bacteria we're talking about can enter the joints. They can affect the knees, the low back, the hands, the wrists, people with rheumatoid arthritis. It doesn't matter what it is. Something can always be explained. And if it's considered autoimmune, quote unquote, because they don't know what to do with autoimmune, it's because something like one of these bugs is tricking your body into attacking itself. So therefore, to understand your body, understand the microbiome, and understand these guys and how they can affect you, because strep is about holding yourself back or being abandoned, just as an example, feeling abandoned or being held back. So these are some neurological threads that are conflicts in the brain that allow these particular bacteria or bugs to manifest in the body. And then, of course, the other thread is what part of the body it is and what the conflict is related to. So what can you do about this? Everybody wants to know. Well, in our world, we use QNRT, quantum neural reset therapy, where we connect the brain and the body using functional neurology, eye movements, body movements, cranial nerves, and all the kind of good stuff to help repattern your brain. And that is the most profound thing on the planet that I know of, otherwise I'd do something else. But this particular technique is profound as far as eliminating pain, restoring function, decreasing stress, increasing sleep, increasing energy, improving bowels. There's really no limit because it's really about unlocking your body's ability to heal itself and function as it's optimal. So what can you do to prevent these issues? A, identify the conflicts in your life, whether they're in your relationships or they're internally. You can balance your brain and your nervous system through QNRT or something similar. And you can also balance your immune system. We oftentimes use Desert Biological's series therapy relief kits here. And of course, some of these major bugs, they have received the DNA from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. They got the DNA from that group. They made a master homeopathic tincture out of that, and then they distributed it based on their system. And so we use those to give your immune system something to sniff, something to go find these bugs and rebalance them, because it's all about balancing your body. So keep this in mind. If you know anybody with arthritis, you know anybody with mental health issues, there's always a reason. It's not this nebulous idea that, oh, I don't know why I have this, or I don't know why this is happening to me. There's always a reason. And if you're willing to look for the why, we can help you explain and understand the why, because your body will tell us all that information. Feel free to share this with your family and friends. Make sure that you're letting us know what's working for you, what's not. Let us know what information you want to hear so that we can empower you to live your best life. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week for the Wednesday Wellness Minute.